And now we come to one of the funnest things that happened all this week, NXT Live from the Riverside Municipal Auditorium. This was both the first time I've ever seen an NXT show live, because it's the closest one they've had this year since I've had my license, and it is also the first wrestling event I've ever seen in person. Been a fan since mid-2002, never been able to go to a live event. Both from a combination of cash and ride. During that time, I've had a couple friends go, but this is the first time I've gone, and even though it was on a work night, worth the trip. Now, did run into a bit of traffic going there, but I managed to get there with an hour and a half till opening bell to spare, so worked, and since I bought my tickets a month in advance, I got a good seat. I don't know if it would be considered hard camera if this was an event that was being taped, but from where I was sitting, I could see the ring, because I was third row from the ring, from where we were. And right in front of me, looking past the ring, was the Titantron. So, without knowing, setup lingo, that's where it was. So, good spot to see all the matches, especially since I was about the middle of the row. There were 8 matches on the card, even though one of them was basically just a short match. And the last 3 matches were after the intermission. And I have no idea if this is just a house show or if any of this is going to be on the network, because they did have cameras mainly, to put stuff on the Titantron, but who knows? I mean, the Samoa Joe versus Nakamura match was a house show in Australia, yet they put that on NXT, so who knows? They might put some of this on there. Anyway, speaking of which, I did watch that match before I went in the morning just to, get ready for this event and also to see how that match went. Now, having only seen their first match, I could definitely say that match as a whole was better than that one, but that one's a house show match too, so not going to be as good. But it was decent and got me pumped up for this. The opening match was No Way Jose defeating Riddick Moss in a pretty entertaining match. No Way Jose, all the entire crowd was into him, and he was the first person of the night I actually knew who he was. And Roderick Moss, it was funny, him there, coming out with the gold vest. There was a couple times where we were heckling him like, "We don't know you. We don't know you." And his reaction, or making fun of his vest with "You look stupid" chants. And then at one point, No Way Jose put it on, and we were like, "He looks better." That was a fun thing, just heckling it. At one point later on, I did get a small chant start. I think it was a mini bullshit chant, but earlier there was a louder one, but that was later on in the show. Second match, did not recognize the competitors. Liv Morgan defeating Aaliyah in a decent match. Only problem with this match is, who was the heel, who was the babyface, or was it a babyface versus babyface match? It was kind of hard to tell with that. At least with Moss and Jose, I could tell who was the heel and who was the babyface, and it was a pretty good opening card match. Our next 2 matches both featured Patrick Clark, and he went over in both of them. The first one, he defeated Tino Sabatelli in a decent match, went about, I'd say probably 10 minutes, give or take. And Tino did show a pretty good heelish thing. He kind of seems like a combination of Chris Masters and Mark Jindrak. And a couple people are even heckling Tino with Chris Masters chants. And he even did a submission hold. It's like, yep, I can see why they're calling him that. Then after Clark got the win, Wesley Blake came out and was taunting the audience, heckling us. So like, "Oh, look, title belt. Oh, look, shirts. Look, Daniel Bryan shirt. Yeah. Doing the usual heel shtick. He got into a quick match with Clark, and Clark beat him. Nothing much else to say to that. Then we came to the main match of the first half of the show, and honestly, I have to say, from an in-ring standpoint, probably the best match on the card. Asuka defending the NXT Women's title against Ember Moon. Now, as far as I know, these two haven't had a match on TV, so I'm guessing on the house show circuit, it's to test how these two could have a match, and if this match is any indication, they look like they'll have some good chemistry when they actually put them on a TakeOver special, because I think that's going to be the match for the next TakeOver special. Asuka retained the title, obviously. And just seeing her entrance in person was great. I got a couple pictures of her when she was making her entrance at the end. And there was a couple moments where I was thinking, oh no, they're actually going to put the title on Ember at the house show, but I guess, say they sucked me in that much. I don't know if I would have felt the same way watching it at home. But, being there in person, you just feel the energy in the place. You're like, is it going to go there? Is it going to go there? Oh, no. Asuka eventually got it, by submission, by the way. And at the end, they actually did have a little moment where they showed some little respect for one another. So I have a feeling if Asuka does lose the title to Moon, it's probably going to be like that. But who knows? We're going to have to wait and see. Then we had a 20, 30-minute intermission where I went to the bathroom. Nothing much else to say about that intermission other than waiting. And I did get one thing of merchandise, by the way, but I got this when I came in. I'm starting to wish I had gotten a poster since I didn't bring a lot of cash on me. And, being the holidays, it was a little harder to save when I have to spend money for other stuff. But I got a Nakamura Strong Style shirt. Just the second shirt in the last couple of years I've bought. And I was debating whether I was going to get a Joe shirt, but then I decided, I'll get a Nakamura shirt. And just to nerd out, last night when I went to the gym, I actually wore the Nakamura shirt while I was on the floor working out. So I was like, the nerd is strong with this one. First match when we came back from the intermission was Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, the NXT Tag Team Champions, defending their titles against the former champions Wilder and Dawson. There was many times throughout this match where Wilder and Dawson were really healing it up and heckling the fans, like they were heckling a couple people on the row I was sitting at. And I did heckle them back a lot with stuff. That's, during this match that we did the bullshit chant, and I even yelled stuff like, "Ref, are you blind?" And there was a little part at the beginning because they'd already healed it up a little bit where they were doing, some amateur wrestling stuff. So I yelled, "I learned that in 8th grade." A little reference to the fact that I wrestled in middle school in the first year of high school. I wish I had picked a better moment to do it, though, because it was kind of drowned out. And that would have been funnier if some of the other people picked that up, or he got a reaction from that. But it is what it is, timing-wise. But, it's good to heckle the heels back. Shows they're doing their job properly. Not going to ever get to the point where people are jumping the barricade to get at them, but there was a bunch of moments throughout the match where it looked like they were going to put the titles back on Wilder and Dawson because, being the heels, there's a lot of moments like, oh no, they can do that. But then the faces will kick out, and in the end, they retain their titles. Pretty good match. Great way to bring the crowd back into things after a little intermission. And then it goes into a match that's basically a filler match in between this and the main event, where it's Elias Sampson, the Drifter, defeating Oni Lorcan by pinfall in a match where I thought Sampson was going to lose, but he turned out to be the only heel that actually won this night. And he came out, of course, with his guitar starting stuff, and at one point later on, when he was sitting on the ring step before he got interrupted by Lorcan during the match, I yelled, "Johnny Cash, you are not!" Like the other one, didn't get picked up, but it's alright. It's, like I said, it's mainly more fun to actually be heckling that. And at one point during the match when Lorcan got his hands on the guitar, he was like looking at us like, "You guys want me to smash this?" And we're like, "Smash it, smash it, smash it." It didn't get smashed, of course, but the ref did take it away from him. In the end, Sampson did win with a roll-up. This is the type of way that a heel should win like that. Then the main event was Shinsuke Nakamura and Ty Dillinger versus Andrade Cien Almas and the glorious one, Bobby Roode, with Samoa Joe at ringside, because apparently in his last match he got injured, at least in storyline. It could be a real one, but the way he was moving, it doesn't look like it's a major one, just one where he's not going to be cleared to wrestle just in case. So he comes out before the match in ring gear, cuts a little promo. He got a good reaction. He seems kind of a tweener. He's doing heelish stuff, but he got a reaction like a face would, so I'm saying he's kind of a tweener right now. And of course, he made fun of Riverside, California, even though he's from California, and the audience agreed with him, was like, I've lived in this county for all my life, so I get, like, when people make fun of certain cities like Elsinore, but Riverside County is capital of Riverside, California itself. I don't get it. Maybe there's not a lot of major stuff to do there, but that's the only thing I can think of. And maybe the traffic along the 91, yeah, that I get. When he made the joke about the 91, I was thinking of yelling, "Joke's on you, I took the 215, but I didn't get a chance to yell it. That would have been fun to see if he had actually heard that and got a reaction like, 215, he probably would have been like, "You're even stupider then." That's just my guess anyway. Anyway, the match went back and forth pretty good. Dillinger and Almas started, then Roode got tagged in at one point, then Nakamura got tagged in at one point. The thing about that is Roode was taunting him a lot, and then at one point Nakamura was like, "I wash my hands of this." And Nakamura, as you can expect, did have an amazing reaction when he came out, as did Roode. Everyone's singing along with Roode's song, and Nakamura, everyone's humming along with it, even after the theme stopped. Both when he left and when he came out, just as a little side note. And the match was pretty decent, a pretty good main event. I don't know if I would say it's an amazing one. Like I said, I still think Asuka and Ember Moon was the match of the night, but this was a pretty good main event tag match. And Nakamura and Dillinger ended up winning after Almas got pinned by Nakamura following a Kinshasa, which is one of the few moments during the whole card I did actually get some video of. It's a fun little video. And there's one little thing I'm scratching my head at about the match is, at one point, Samoa Joe came out and attacked Nakamura. And this is where I kind of thought, okay, they're probably going to have the heels win, which turned out not to be. It was one of those things where they did that kind of to continue the Nakamura Joe thing. Now, the thing about this is that you can obviously see the referee sees this at one point because he goes over there and is like, hey, get off there. And he actually forces Joe to go to the back. Because throughout this, Joe was sitting at ringside watching. I'm scratching my head because it's like, I don't remember them during the ring introduction saying this match was no disqualification. So throughout this whole part, I'm thinking of a line that JR said at WrestleMania 17 when they announced that at the beginning of the main event. It was like, when was that established? It's like, this wasn't established as a no DQ match, so shouldn't the referee be throwing this out? Shouldn't Nakamura and Dillinger have gotten the win via disqualification? I mean, either way, they got the win, but it's like, huh? Just one of those weird little things that I was wondering if anyone else was questioning it. Triple H did not come out. If he was backstage at all, he just got a little video of him earlier. Got a little bit of video from the Performance Center, and we even got a little video from the Performance Center of wrestlers doing the mannequin challenge, which was kind of entertaining to watch, especially how they edited in all the music and stuff. There were a bunch of chants as you would expect. There were a bunch of delete chants, and at one point someone did obsolete. There was a couple moments where I thought of yelling obsolete at people when the matches was over, but they went to the back too quickly, and I was on the wrong side. Like, if I was closer to where they were coming in and out, I would have yelled, "You're obsolete now!" or something weird like that. And a guy wearing a Lucha Underground shirt did do some Lucha chants a couple times. And there were some other chants that I don't remember all of them, but they all fit the moment, and it's just a fun thing. If you could find video from the event to just watch, just have the chant stuff on it, do it, because it was a fun event. And if you've never been to an NXT live event, even if it's just one like this where it's a house show, go, because it is a fun time.